All right, let's talk about one of my favorite tools for getting code out the door fast, without all the headaches of managing servers. Google Cloud Run. We're going to see how you can go from just your code to a live running app in the cloud, basically instantly.
So picture this. You've done the creative part, you've written your app, you've debugged it, and you've even neatly packaged it up into a container. Awesome. But that's kind of just the first step, isn't it? The big question is always, now what? How do you actually get this thing running in the real world, where it has to be up all the time, scale with traffic, and stay secure?
And this right here, this is a problem every single developer runs into. We can call it the container dilemma. It's all that hidden work, all the stuff that happens after the fun part. The coding is over.
I mean, think about everything that's involved. All of a sudden, you're not just a developer, you're a sysadmin. You're worrying about patching servers, figuring out complicated scaling rules, setting up virtual networks, and maybe the most painful part, you're paying for servers that are just sitting there, idle, waiting for something to happen. That's not building cool stuff, that's just managing infrastructure.
This is the exact problem that Cloud Run was built to solve. The whole promise here is to just take all of that operational pain away. It's about making the whole process of running your container serverless and incredibly simple.
So, what is it exactly? Well, Cloud Run is a fully managed platform. And those two words, fully managed, are the absolute key. It lets you run your apps on Google's massive, scalable infrastructure, which means you can just focus on your code, not on the servers it runs on.
And this quote just nails it. It really is the best of both worlds. You get all the power and portability of containers, package your app any way you want. But you also get the beautiful simplicity of serverless, where you literally never have to think about a server again.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics. What are the features that make Cloud Run so powerful? I like to think of them as your serverless superpowers. Let's break them down.
Superpower number one is this big, beautiful number, 0. See, with Cloud Run, if nobody is hitting your app, it scales all the way down to 0. That means your bill for that service is 0. You only pay when your code is actually running. That is a massive cost saver, a total game changer.
Next up, you can use whatever tools you already know and love. We're talking Go, Python, Java, Node, you name it. Basically, if you can put it into a container, you can run it on Cloud Run. There's no need to learn a whole new stack or rewrite your app.
And getting your code deployed, it's as simple as this. Often, it's literally just one command in your terminal. And check out that second step, containerize. It's marked as optional. That's because Cloud Run is smart enough to take your source code in a language like Python or Node.js and build a production-ready container for you. It's amazing.
Okay, so what can you actually build with all this power? You might think something this simple is only for small stuff, but the range of what you can build is, well, pretty incredible.
So you've got the basics, of course. It's perfect for hosting dynamic websites and back-end APIs. You can build out your microservices, connect to your SQL databases, and serve up anything from simple web pages to really complex APIs.
But it's not just for things that respond to web requests. Cloud Run is also a beast for back-end processing. You can have it process streams of data from PubSub, run scheduled jobs every hour, or even execute really long-running data processing tasks for up to a full 24 hours.
And here is where it gets really, really cool. You can use Cloud Run to host massive AI models, like Llama 3.1. It gives you on-demand access to powerful NVIDIA GPUs that spin up in just seconds. And crucially, when they're not being used, they scale right back down to 0. This is huge for managing the costs of AI workloads.
Now, all this brings up a super important question that a lot of developers have. If Cloud Run is so simple and powerful, when would you ever need to use something more complex, like Google Kubernetes Engine or GKE?
I love this comparison. The best way to think about it is like choosing a car. Cloud Run is like a high-end luxury car with an automatic transmission. It's fast, it's efficient, and it just works. You just steer. GKE, on the other hand, is like a manual, high-performance race car. It gives you total control over every single component, the engine, the suspension, everything. That's perfect if you have a really complex, stateful application that needs that level of fine-grained control. So it's not about which is better, it's about choosing simplicity versus total control.
So as we start to wrap this up, it's pretty clear that Cloud Run is pointing toward a future where developers don't have to be infrastructure experts anymore, a zero infrastructure future. So, what's your next step?
Well, the best way to get it is to just try it. And Google makes that ridiculously easy. The always free tier for Cloud Run gives you 2 million free requests every single month.
Let that sink in. 2 million. That's more than enough to run a personal project or a new startup idea without ever spending a dime.
And that leaves us with one last question to think about. If all that work, managing servers, scaling, patching, if all of it just became invisible, what incredible thing would you build next?